Welcome to the Athena Wellness Podcast, the show that invites you to take a seat around the community fire and listen to stories that inspire. I'm your host, Kathy Robinson, author, coach, and founder of Athena Wellness, a company that's dedicated to supporting you on your journey to live more wholeheartedly. Hello, and welcome to episode 32. Thank you so much for joining me for this shortened Wellness Wednesday episode, a little midweek boost to help keep your warrior vibe high. Today, I'm joined once again by Karen Delk, executive coach, who shares her thoughts on work-life balance and keeping well in the workplace. Karen Delk is joining me again for this Wellness Wednesday episode. Welcome back, Karen.
Thank you. Glad to be back.
You mentioned something about blurred lines in our last conversation, and so I'm really interested in getting your thoughts on work-life balance. It's always been a focus, but as you mentioned, it's become critical. A lot of people are experiencing stress and burnout from hours bleed. As you mentioned, no separation between work and home life. And I was really interested to see that Deloitte comes out with an annual human capital trends report. And in 2021, the first trend they highlighted was designing work for well-being. And I just love this. It's this proactive approach of keeping the employee well versus treating the negative impact of stress and burnout. So I'm curious on, what are you seeing in the workplace when it comes to work-life balance?
Yes, as you can imagine, Kathy, it's a mixed bag. Some of the best practices that I've seen is no meetings Monday or, work a half day Friday with, 8 to 12, or 9 to 12, and then saying, we're not expecting you to be in the office. Take the time to use however you wish. It could be to do laundry. It could be to get an early start on a road trip, to do your stay vacation, to take your kids to the park, whatever you want. We're not expecting you to work. Now, initially, obviously, some employees thought, I don't believe this is real. We'll see how it works. But some employees have taken it to heart. And so it does mean that people work a compressed work week of, 10 hours a day, 4 days a week in order to make that happen. But that has been some of the innovative thinking that I've seen. Others have said, you can work wherever you want. We're not concerned as long as you meet, the requirements. There are some people whose jobs they're tethered to the phone or they're tethered to, meetings, so they don't have some of those luxuries. But where people can take it, taking control of their schedule, organizations have certainly allowed that.
That's wonderful. And, the other thing that Deloitte had mentioned was that it's up to the employees to be proactive and to be vocal about their needs. Do you believe that there's a good give and take in order that they're getting what they need and they're asking for what they need?
I think it depends on the leader in the organization, right? So you can be in one company and there are going to be a zillion different experiences because of the leadership. Some leaders are burned out themselves. And, I'm talking to leaders constantly 5 days a week. And I've noted that around mid-February, after the new year, that's about 6 weeks after, the Christmas, New Year holiday, I would talk to people and they would say, oh my God, I can't, it's only been 6 weeks, but I need a break. So and across industry. And I think that exists because of the blurred lines that we were talking about earlier, that I think people need more intermittent breaks because there's a deep concentration on getting work done. And some leaders call their people all hours of the day, or evening, and expect them to respond. And so, you're constantly trying to be responsive and then focus on the task at hand. So I think leaders need to be mindful that people need a kind of a stream of hours to get work done and then schedule.
Mm-hmm.
If that business has that kind of cadence, to let that happen. But I
Mm-hmm.
do think leaders are burned out, and that will spill over to their employee base. Some leaders are, they're just not inclined, not because they're mean spirited, but they're focused on deliverables, and they may not think about some of the chit chat that people need for breaks. I talked to a number of people who say, I've been in this chair since 8 o'clock and it's now 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
I wasn't even able to get up and go to the bathroom. I haven't had anything to eat. So getting those breaks in is extremely important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the research said that they were encouraging companies to recognize the link between well-being, our work, and our lives by incorporating that into the criteria and how people are rated as for the work that they're doing, rewarding managers for encouraging well-being, for
Mm-hmm.
micro breaks, which is what you just said, the
Mm-hmm.
importance of that, and investing in new technology and setups if we're going to be at this for a while. And there was one thing that I didn't even know existed, something called an LSA, a lifestyle spending account, where companies will call it $100, $200 a month in an employee's account, and they can use that for whatever healthy habit they want to increase. They can use it for a dietitian, for a therapist, for a gym membership, their choice. And I thought, wow, what a great benefit. Have you seen any of these out in the workplace that I just mentioned?
I'm currently coaching a SVP of benefits for a major company, and she's indicated she has never been busier, and it has been constant and steady since the beginning of the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
trying to be responsive, and innovative, ahead, proactive. She's one example. There's also been, diversity people who have tried to figure out how to address on a global basis people who want to get involved in social justice,
Mm-hmm.
right? And see that the company is doing the right thing. So there are segments of corporate, roles that have been heavily tapped in a, trying to be proactive, trying to respond to the employee requests or the management requests of what can we do. Um, so it's in pockets, in pockets.
Mm-hmm. Well, as a long-term corporate person, it's my hope that corporate America would take the lead on things like this. That keeps me optimistic on the
Absolutely,
future.
me as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Thank you again, Karen. I thank you so much for your time, and thank you for sharing your insight with us. I appreciate it.
Oh, well, thank you, Kathy. It's been a pleasure to talk about these important topics. I'm a corporate person as well, and I think corporate America, on the whole, has been leading the way and figuring it out, right? Not doing it 100%, but certainly with the yeoman's effort.
Yeah, excellent. Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I know there are many ways you can spend your time. Thank you for choosing to spend it with me. Until our paths cross again, be kind to yourself and show your warrior spirit some love. If you know anyone who could benefit from today's episode, please pass it on. And many thanks for supporting the show by subscribing and leaving a review. It means a lot, and it helps others find their way to our circle. If you'd like to access the show notes, have a question you'd like addressed on a future episode, or would like a transcript of this episode, visit www.athenawellness.com/podcast. Until next time, be well.